So, what was I doing? Right. Oh, what am I doing? No, I don't want to do that. There. The Bork of Vidako. I just need one power coupling. Come on. There we go. Alright. Now everybody lifts the stair. Hey, penguins are cute. Don't you say that? Don't you say otherwise. Snooping as usual, I see. Wait. Okay, oh, there it is. There we go. Sorry for that. Oh, much larger, much longer range. Oof. Hello, Kitty. Me. Yeah. Oh, let's put this through Google Translate or something. I don't know.
Mie.
Me. Hold on. Italian.
Mie.
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 My.
Mio.
My.
Mio.
Mie. So it is a girl because Mio, I'm pretty sure is male. It's the male gender part for my. Salvage nano receptacle, salvage thruster nozzle. It's nothing too hard to get. Alright, I gotta get those weird things. Consume 85 fuel. Consume. Sophia the Brute. So, our target is in Celestial. Celestial 4. Oh, excuse me. Oh, come on. Why do you have to run into lava? Alright. Oh, that's gone froze again. Oh, whatever. Whoa. What? An even newer one? Okay. Says there are no planets here. Interesting. I wonder what it'll look like this time. Yeah, I guess it's good. Oh, I haven't got one of those before. Already got one of those. Alright. Let's see our new station. I'm popular. Whoa. That's cool. I spent all my things on it though. Hey, it's a garden. Dipper drone. Oh my gosh, that's cool. I already have that. Oh no, I have a different one. I like my hat. Which... Hello, kitty. My dauntless tenacity. Alright. Oh, come on. Oh, there's still stuff down there? Okay. Oh, hey! Hack, boy! Let's go! Oops. This symbiotic bandit house. Sure. Okay, that was uncalled for. nanoreceptacle. Oh, triple kill. That was cool. What are these? Oh. Let's listen to some chip tune. Oh, dinner time. Hold on. Hello, I'm back. And with some dinner, so... Extreme. Mm. Let's listen to some louder with Crater.
If I make more... They have yet to ask the most important question here. Does all of this result in better care? Oh. Not even close. Listen, and this is one thing, you can go back to some of our previous videos. I think I'll link it in an end card here so you can see it. There are two studies that people use to try and claim that these other countries have better healthcare. There's the Commonwealth, where it studied, I think, 11 countries. The United States was 11 on that list versus the UK, who was 1. There was another one, the international study, that had us right below Slovenia and above Cuba. So, I mean, what's the scale here? They're almost entirely subjective polling data. That's what they consist of. So the United States, objectively, objectively leads the world, not even close, in access to medical technology like MRIs. You're 4 times, by the way, as likely to die in a UK hospital than in the United States. They have notoriously long wait times. You can go back to previous videos to look up the likelihood of you dying from cancers to terminal diseases. Compare the United States versus the other countries. Objective parameters, objective litmus tests that you can use. Not, do you like your healthcare? Well, I guess it's kind of free, so I'll live in the crap hole that is Canada, and I'm from there. But a lot of money, by the way, the reason it's so expensive and it benefits the entire world is that a lot of this money is also reinvested into developing new drugs and medical technologies, which brings us to our next point that Bernie doesn't care about.
Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere else in the world. Why? Big Pharma.
They're getting ripped off by the drug companies.
Many of these drugs were developed using government research and grants, yet are turned around and sold at sky-high prices to those who desperately need life-saving medication.
He's doing drugs.
We're going to stop this outrageous
not in need.
price gouging and cut the costs of prescription drugs for patients in hospitals by more than half.
How? Well, that's for the next video.
Yeah.
Okay.
At gunpoint.
Understood. So simply, by the way, price fixing doesn't work. It wouldn't help things, okay? And this goes back again to the previous point that we made about the profits with the industry. A huge chunk of that money goes into medical research, specifically drugs. Something else too, keep in mind that drug prices soared under Barack Obama and with the Affordable Care Act, commonly referred to as Obamacare. I refer to it as Affordable Care Act, just like I refer to it as the Internal Revenue Service. I use full words.
Very nice.
So formal. You're close to them.
I'm not going to be Cenk Uiguring this thing. I am going to make sure that I use all of the syllables.
And the links.
Though, again, leftists, they love to claim that the drug prices continue to rise. No, actually, if you take the price inflation into account, this is one of the most controversial statements in President Trump's State of the Union address because it was accurate, taking into account the price of inflation. We've seen historic reductions in drug prices under President Donald Trump. Okay? Doesn't mean that it's perfect yet, but you do see that happening. And fixing prices is something a lot of people don't understand when they talk about price gouging. They complain about price gouging. Okay, if you were to fix prices, let's say Hurricane Katrina. People complain about this, that there's an emergency, so people are price gouging. What does that mean? A convenience store owner understands that there's scarcity, and so all of a sudden, batteries, I don't know how much it is for a pack of AA batteries. What is it, a few bucks? Depends if you go with double alkaline lithium. They keep going and going and going. And that Bunny and Duracell, I don't know.
the ones that
I think they're all the
explode?
same. It's all big battery. I don't trust them. But the point is, the convenience store owner of the bodega says, well, now that's not $3. That's going to be $30.
Yeah.
People say, well, that's price gouging. Well, you know what happens if that person doesn't charge more in that instant? Someone walks in and goes, hey, I can't believe I have all these batteries that are only $3. Hoard! That's what happens. And then you have to create more regulation that says, well, actually, we're going to guarantee that the price does not go up regardless of scarcity, regardless of supply and demand, but we are now going to be limited to 2 per customer. And then you have someone send in all of their family. And then they go, they now all of a sudden they're hoarding even more batteries, and then they start selling them on the street, and you create a black market. Anytime you try to fix a bureaucratic problem with more bureaucracy, I don't want to say anytime, but most of the time, it doesn't work that well. So going back to the drugs that have reduced in cost after Donald Trump, why do drugs cost so much too? We've talked about medical research. Let me put a finer point on it. The average cost right now to develop a single new drug is $2.6 billion.
Whoa.
That sounds pretty bad.
That's a B.
Then take into account that the approval rate for drugs entering clinical development is less than 12%. So it requires the big evil monocled billionaires, they have to invest.
Wow.
And there has to be some chance of recouping on their investment. Who would spend billions of dollars with a 12% chance of a drug being approved? By the way, the money that goes into research, that's the reason why the United States, you guessed it, leads the world in the creation of new drugs and medical research papers. It's not even close.
I like leading.
They talk about this in the video. Germany doesn't spend as much on healthcare. Really? Germany doesn't? Well, I'm guessing that it's for very much the same reason that Canada doesn't spend that much on the military. You're welcome. And I say that as a Canadian, okay? People say, Canadian, I was born in Detroit, raised in Montreal. Not that hard to figure out. I could run for president, but I don't want to. All right, next clip.
You don't even want to know how much the United States wastes on processing paper.
Oh, will you tell us?
It adds up to hundreds of billions of dollars.
Oh, hundreds.
We're going to replace this
I thought you said we
Byzantine
didn't want to
system
know.
of paperwork and billing with one single payer.
Oh.
Uncle Sam.
That is not where the money should go on paper pushing.
Estimates show
like the Iowa
Medicare
app?
for All could save more than $500 billion each and every year on administrative costs.
Okay, this is true. This is a very true claim. private insurance, with the insane regulations and government red tape that we've talked about, they have a lot of administrative expenses. Absolutely, that is true. But the estimates that the Sanders campaign they use, they're completely inaccurate. Why? Because you'd be expanding Medicare to everyone. To compare administrative expenses for Medicare currently as it exists, right? It's only for 65 and older. Patients who are over 65, they spend far more overall on healthcare, so the administrative costs will of course be a much smaller percentage. Also, something else that's important to note, the administrative spending can actually lower all kinds of other costs and spendings within a health insurance company. It's just like here, we have to spend a whole lot on updating the studio, making sure that the insulation is not flammable, making sure that we don't have rats chewing on the wires in the attic, making sure that we have equipment here that can cost many hundreds of thousands of dollars annually that doesn't go directly into the pockets of employees because it allows us to work more efficiently, more effectively, and employ more people in the long run. So to look at it through this myopic, it makes me very sad, but also angry. I'm really angry because then I realize I'm sad when I think of how much a company has to spend on administrative costs, and then I'm angry when I realize that the proposed solution to less paperwork is the federal government. Just consider the number of pages for government bills ever. The Affordable Care Act was 10,000 pages, and according to Washington Post,
just one copy.
That's not too long because, frankly, this is to be expected in any large and complex governmental undertaking. Yeah, taking over a fifth of the American economy could be considered sizable. And by the way, while we're talking about big evil corporations, I understand the problem with transparency. I believe that the government should absolutely ensure that corporations don't lie to people. They don't lie what's on there. They don't lie on the label. They don't lie to people as far as their business practices. I'm supportive of transparency, just like I'm supportive of the military, because I believe that's a legitimate role of government.
Yes.
That falls under the purview of government to make sure that consumers are not being lied to when they make their decisions. While we're talking about transparency, hey, we signed a health care bill that took over a fifth of the economy that, admittedly, from Nancy Pelosi, they had